Hey everyone, my name's Andrew Hess, and today we're going to build out a Power App that sends an email based off a template. So we're going to be able to go to our gallery, check off some rows in our gallery, then auto send an email based on the selection of the users and the items in that row. Once again, this will be uploaded to GitHub. If you want to download the app and import it into your site, you can easily do that. So let's get started. All right, so this is our email app that we created last week. It looks nice and beautiful. It's a great email app. You can add people to it, add them to the email. You can write in here. You can write HTML. You have a nice subject line to also continue that. All right, so I put together a very simple gallery. Now this can be any gallery, however you want to do it. I just put this gallery together very quickly just for the demo of this video. So just imagine this is your gallery. I want to add a checkbox here. So I want to add a checkbox so that we can select the pieces of the gallery. So let's go with the new checkbox here. And I'm going to remove the text from it. I just want the checkbox. So there's no label or anything. It's just a checkbox. And so we can go through our gallery and check off a few things. Now, these are the items that we're going to put into a table, and then we're going to email those. So what I want to do is I want to collect the items that I check off. So there's a few different ways to do this, but let's keep it simple first, right? So always keep it simple first. I'm getting a button. And this button on the on select, we're gonna filter the gallery based on which ones we have checked. So we wanna create a collection. The first thing we wanna do is ClearCollect. And the reason we're doing ClearCollect is because every time we click the button, we want a new collection. We don't want it to add on top of itself. So ClearCollect, and then we're going to give it a name. So myCheckedOptions. So these are the ones that we've checked. And then we're going to do a comma, and we're going to filter it based on this gallery here. So based on the gallery, I named mine galRisks. So you see that here, galRisks. And we're going to do all items. We're going to grab everything at first, but then since we're filtering it on our checkbox, canvas 1. So that's right here, checkbox canvas 1 dot checked. All right, so that's the entire equation. So we have a button. I'm going to hit play. I'm going to click our button. It created a collection. One way you can easily look at your collection and look at the rows is if we do a text here. And we say count rows of which one was it? The myCheckedOptions. So you can see that we had 3. So now check this out. We'll select a few more, and we'll hit the button. We'll see it's 7. We'll deselect. Now I deselected 2. It should be 5. And so now you can see that our collection is actually gathering the items. The whole entire row, it's gathering all the information on that row. So if we look at one right here, let's say the water is too acidic, click the button by Batman, and then we look at our collection. Right here is the variable button. We can look at our collection and we can see in here that it's water development and water is too acidic. So that's the title field. So it's grabbing all the columns associated with that row, even columns that we're not even using. It's still grabbing all that information. Now it's grabbing what's in the gallery though. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to take this button, and you can put it wherever you'd like, but we're going to say new email. This button is now going to navigate us to our other screen. So after our semicolon, we're going to say navigate to screen 3 on a fade. Let's do a fade. So now when we click on the button, we're going to collect everything, ClearCollect, so we can have 3 of them. We can see, let's put a few in there. We'll collect these 3, Spider-Man 2, SpongeBob, and Batman. It's going to navigate us to our next page. So I want it to default to the people I've selected. So let's work on that. All right, so we really got to look at this email template very closely. So right down here, we have our gallery here, and you can see it's called My People. Now this is out of the box, right? This is just right out of the box what Microsoft gives us. When we select someone, so let's say we find someone here, on the on select of this item, or even up here on the on select, you can see it's actually creating the collection right here. So collect My People, this item, right? So this is where that collection is coming in. So when I click on this, Bart Simpson, it adds him to the collection. So once I clicked on it, it adds him to the My People collection. So let's look at that collection. So I clicked on the little variable. We'll look at the My People. We can see that it grabbed some information here. Display name, given, ID, surname, user principal name. So it grabs some information in here. On our first screen, we also want to grab that information on this new button. So I'm going to say ForAll what? ForAll my checked options. So ForAll this gallery right here, the previous gallery we just created, I'm going to collect in My People, my second gallery, the one that's out of the box with the email template. And what do we want to collect? We want to collect some fields. We want them to match exactly the same columns that came with the My People. So display name, a given name might be important, not that important. ID, and we want to make sure we grab the email. So right, user principal, looks like it has the name in there. We want to make sure we grab the mail also and grab the email. I think this person, I think Bart Simpson doesn't have a mail address. So let's get a better example. So let me grab someone who I know has a mail address. I'm pretty sure Batman has a mail address. So let's take a look at that collection again. In My People. Yeah, there we go. So now we can see he has a job title. He has a mail address. He has a nickname, office location, all this information. We want to make sure we grab a few things. The display name, that's very important. Maybe department, maybe that's important to you, but mail, display name, and ID. So let's grab those few things. So I'm going to go back to my screen one. On here, ForAll people. One thing I said was display name. So you got to do the curly bracket, right? Display name. And what is the display name? We're going to use the field that we grabbed out of our checked options. So it's going to be owner dot display name. And so let's just make sure we got all that working correctly. I like to sometimes end it before I add more columns in there. So it is working correctly. Let's grab another one. Let's grab mail and use the IntelliSense, right? It's not email, it's mail. Use the IntelliSense to help you. Mail. And once again, owner dot email. So now it's email. See, this is where the IntelliSense helps you. All right, and then one more I want to grab is the ID. And the ID, I'm just going to say, is the email again. So owner.email. It'll work just fine for the way I want to use it. So for ID, I'm going to say owner.email. All right, so let's grab a few of these. Let's grab Jean Grey, Daffy Duck, and Spider-Man 2. And then let's click New Email. And look there. It still has Batman in there from before because we didn't clear the collection. But we also have Daffy Duck, Jean Grey, and Spider-Man 2. So one thing we probably want to do is right before we do that ForAll, let's clear the My People. So now when we start off, and let's try it again. We click on it. Now we've cleared it. We have Daffy Duck, Jean Grey, and Spider-Man 2. And if we want to add another person, Batman, it adds them right onto the list, right? Because we're not doing a clear collect there. So this is really cool. We got all that information in there. We now, let's create a back button. I don't have a back button. Okay, so now we're back. We have a back button. So now let's select a few different people. Let's do Rocket Raccoon, Jean Grey, and Lilo and Stitch. New email. We can see it populates those people in there. Really nice. There's one other issue that I'm worried about, and that's what happens if you select someone in there twice. So Jean Gray and Jean Gray. So let's send it again. This time Jean Gray is in there twice. So let's try and figure out how to not allow that to happen. So you can use the out-of-the-box stuff to kind of help you out. So if we look at here, you can see that if not this user principal name in my people. So that's how they're keeping it from replicating itself. I'm just going to take this part. That came right out of the box. Microsoft gave us that. I'm going to go to my screen on my new email button. So right here before my collect, I'm going to say, if not, instead of this item, I'm going to say this record dot, let's say ID or mail, something, let's see, ID. Oh, it's doing the capital ID because it's grabbing from SharePoint. Oh, this record dot owner dot email is not in my email, my people dot mail. Let's see if that works. And we're missing a new parentheses, I think. So let's see. There we go. Let's see if that magically works. So it's going to clear everything. We have Jean Gray in there twice. New email. Now she is only in there once. I don't know how we think about this, how this stuff works out, but thank you, Microsoft, for giving us the templates to do this. So now let's say we select in here. Andrew Hess is in here 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I collect. I'm only in there 1 time on the email. So, and then we can add more people in here. Let's say, oh, we didn't have enough. We want to add more people in here. Let's add more people in here to send the email. And we can easily just do that and add on to our collection. Okay, so now I want to work on the message part. I want to grab the gallery items that I have selected here. All right, so let's throw some more people in here. We're sending that email to who we want to. Now down here, I want to create a table. Let's add a, not a rich text, HTML text. And this HTML text is gonna take up all the space. You know, we just wanna align it to the container. And it's gonna be blank at first. So right here, the HTML text is gonna be blank. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, okay, we're doing a table. So you see up top here, we're doing a table. Border equals 1. And it's a width equals, 100%. So that's my HTML. We have a table. And then we're going to start doing my table headers. So double quotes, table header. Now this is going to match our other screen. So that's title. And then we close the table header. And then the next one, let's see if we just do some copy paste in here. Project. Let's see, owner, impact, probability, and then let's close it off. So now we can't really see it. Let's get some space in here. I'll just turn on flexible height. There we go. So it looks like title is not fitting in there. Why is title not in my table? And it looks like because I'm missing a bracket right here. Okay, there we go. So now we have a table, we have our message. Now I want to fill in the rows of each one. All right, now that we have my table headers across, now I want to concatenate a string of text to fit correctly. So I'm going to say ampersand concat. And what do I want to concat? I want to concat my checked options, right? So now you have to know some HTML here. So think about how you're going to concatenate your string. I'm going to do a TR and then a TD and then ampersand. I'm going to do title. And then I'm going to, and you can see it building out there. That's beautiful. And then ampersand, I want a closing TD, and then a new TD, and then ampersand project name, and then I'll just copy this right here. Let's copy with the ampersand, and then owner. Let's see, ampersand owner dot display name, ampersand this, and the next one was what? Impact. And then finally, it's probability. All right, so now we have a nice table down here also that we're going to send with our message. So we have an email. We're sending it to who we want. It has a subject. So this is our subject of our email. Then let's say we want to write something. We all have risks here at this location. Please take a look at the table below. And this is HTML, so we can highlight things. We can change this to maybe a heading. And this down here is not a heading. Maybe it's normal. And then now we want to make sure this table is added to our message. So when we send an email, it's sending the HTML text and HTML text dot HTML text. Maybe we'll put a BR in here to give it a break. We'll give it 2 breaks. And so we're writing our message, right? So that's right here in purple. Look at the colors. So this purple pink is this message here. Then we're doing 2 breaks. Then we're adding the table below in green. So that's at green right here. So we're adding the table in green. Now, let's make sure the email goes to me. Let's send the email. So we are sending this now. Complete. So let's take a look at that. We're going to send an email. I'm now going to get an email. Let's take a look at that email. So take a look at this. Now we have a nice, beautiful email. We send it to Daffy Duck, Batman, and myself. We have all the risks here at this location. Please take a look at the table below. We have a nice formatted table of all of our items selected in our gallery, sent to us with just a few clicks, filling out the subject and the message. We get all the information straight from our gallery. We can select one item if we want to and send it to Batman, and then it's in the list. We can select multiple items if we want to and send it to everyone on our list, never repeating the same person. It then fills out an HTML table. You can write more if you want to. And if you want to even add extra people, you can start adding extra people in here. Let's say there's someone that you're missing. Maybe you're missing Jean Grey. You can then add her to the email list, send the email out. Maybe you wanted to CC them. Thank you all for watching. My name is Andrew Hess. There's some really cool concepts here, how you can kind of use that email template and how you can combine collections together to send it how you want. And then of course you have the nice, beautiful HTML table that you can then send in an email as well. My name is Andrew Hess, and I'll see you next week.